Good morning, class.
Good morning, Miss Ross.
Last week, we learned about the minor and the major characters in a story. Who can tell me the difference between the major and minor characters in a story? Blaze.
The major characters were like your main characters that you see all the time. And then your minor characters are the ones that you don't see all the time, right? But they're still important to the story.
Correct. For example, in the story of Cinderella, Cinderella would be the main character. Now, who would be a minor character? Blaze, can you tell us who would be a minor character in Cinderella?
Gus Gus?
Yes, Gus Gus would be a minor character. This week, excuse me, we're going to learn the 5 elements of a story. These 5 elements are characters, setting, plot, problem, and theme. Now this sheet will give you a definition of each of these to look over as we go over them as a class. So the characters, we have already identified the difference between a major and a minor character. But the definition of a character is a person, animal, or an object in the story. Who can give me an example? Yes.
How can an object be a character in a story?
An object can be a character in a story. So, for example, have you ever seen Beauty and the Beast?
Yes.
Chip, the little teacup, is an object,
Oh.
so he would be the character in the story. For the setting, it's where and when a story takes place. For example, Cinderella takes place once upon a time, and who can tell me where that story takes place? In a castle. Yes, that would be where and when. Now the plot is the main idea of a story. Can anyone think of a main idea of any story? So in the 3 Little Pigs, the main idea of the story would be for the little pigs to go out on their own and build each of their houses, and then the big bad wolf coming to try and blow them down. Now the problem is a disagreement in the story. So in the 3 Little Pigs, what would be the problem in that story? Blaze.
Their houses kept getting blown down.
That would be a problem. But in this case, the problem and the disagreement within the story is the pigs and the wolf. The wolf tries to eat the pigs, so he keeps trying to blow their house down. The pigs obviously don't want to be eaten, so they keep having to run away from the wolf as he blows their house down. So that would be the disagreement in the story. Now the theme can be a little bit harder to identify within the story, and it is the lesson learned in the story. Now today we are going to watch a read aloud of the 3 Billy Goats Gruff. As you follow along with the read aloud, be looking at your definitions and try to identify each of the 5 themes within the story.
The 3 Billy Goats Gruff. Once there were 3 very hungry billy goats called Gruff. They lived on the side of a steep hill. The billy goats Gruff had eaten all the green grass and needed to find some food. In the valley below, the billy goats Gruff could see the fresh green grass. But to reach it, they had to cross over a bridge. And under that bridge lived a mean and hungry troll.
I'm hungry,
Said the first billy goat Gruff.
and I'm going to eat that fresh green grass.
And before the others could stop him, off he ran. Trip-trap, trip-trap, across the bridge he went. A voice roared, "Who's that trip-trapping on my bridge?"
It's only me.
said the youngest Billy Goat Gruff in a tiny, trembling voice. "Well, I'm mean and I'm hungry and I'm going to eat you up," growled the troll.
Please don't eat me. I'm only little and thin. My brother is coming and is much, much bigger than me.
Pleaded the youngest Billy Goat Gruff. "Well, yes, you are all skin and bones," agreed the troll. "There's no meat on you. I'll wait for your bigger brother." So the first Billy Goat Gruff crossed over the bridge and started to eat the fresh green grass. The second Billy Goat Gruff said, "If my little brother can cross the bridge, then so can I." Trip, trap, across the bridge he went. When a voice roared, "Who's that trip-trapping on my bridge?"
It's only me.
said the little Billy Goat Gruff in a small, scared voice. "Well, I'm mean and I'm hungry, and I'm going to eat you up," growled the troll.
Please don't eat me. I'm only little and thin. My other brother is coming, and he's much, much bigger than me.
Pleaded the middle Billy Goat Gruff. "That's true. You are all skin and bones," agreed the troll. "There's not enough meat on you. I'll wait for your bigger brother." So the second Billy Goat Gruff crossed over the bridge and started to eat the fresh green grass. Now there were 2 billy goats in the fresh green meadow, and one very hungry billy goat left behind. How could the third and oldest Billy Goat Gruff cross over the bridge? "Well," thought the third Billy Goat Gruff, "if the others can cross that bridge, then so can I." Trip, trap, across the bridge he went when a voice roared, "Who's that trip-trapping on my bridge?"
It's me,
bellowed the oldest Billy Goat Gruff.
and I'm big, and I'm strong.
"And I'm not scared of you," although he really was. "Well, I'm mean and I'm hungry and I'm going to eat you up," growled the troll. "That's what you think," said the oldest Billy Goat Gruff. "You may be mean and you may be hungry, but if you want to eat me, come and get me." The troll climbed onto the bridge and rushed towards the third Billy Goat Gruff. But the third Billy Goat Gruff was ready for him. He lowered his horns, he stamped his hooves, trip, trap, and charged towards the troll. The third Billy Goat Gruff butted that mean and hungry troll with his big sharp horns. The troll went flying through the air and landed with a mighty splash in the cold, cold water. The deep, deep river carried the mean and hungry troll out to sea, and he was never seen again. Now the 3 Billy Goats Gruff aren't hungry anymore. They can eat as much fresh green grass as they want, and they can trip-trap across the bridge whenever they like.
After following along with the read aloud, who can identify at least one of the 5 elements of the story? Blaze.
I think I know the characters. I think the characters are the goats and the troll.
Yes, the characters in this story are the 3 Billy Goats Gruff and the troll. Can you identify any of the other 5 elements? Okay. Well, as Blaze was answering the question, I handed out your story webs. Now these story webs have the title of the story in the middle and then 5 empty boxes for each of the 5 elements. To receive full credit for this assignment, you will need to fill in each of the 5 blanks and turn the assignment in to me at the end of class. So we've already reviewed the characters of the story. Now the setting is where and when the story takes place. So this story took place a long time ago in the meadow. Did anyone have trouble identifying the setting of this story? Okay. Now the plot is the main idea of the story. Who thinks they have identified the plot in the story? Blaze.
The goats are hungry and want grass.
Yes. The main idea of this story is that the brothers want to cross the bridge to eat the grass on the other side. Now, what would be the problem in this story for the Billy Goat's Gruff? Blaze.
The troll's hungry too.
Yes. The troll is hungry, so what did he try and do? He tried to eat the billy goats who were trying to get to the other side to eat the grass. Now that would be an example of a disagreement in the story. Now for the last element, the theme. As I said, it can be a little bit more difficult to identify. Who wants to take a try and see if they've identified the theme? Is anyone brave enough? Blaze.
Bullies are bad.
That would be a good example of a theme. And there can be multiple themes to a story. Now for my example, I had to do your best to overcome the obstacles thrown your way. Now when the troll tried to eat each of the goats, the first 2 outsmarted him, and the third one used his horns to hit him and make him fly into the river. So in review, who can tell me the 5 elements of the story? Blaze.
I think that they're the characters, the setting, the plot, the problem, and the theme.
Correct. Now, without these 5 elements, we wouldn't have a story. We need to know the characters, where they are, and what they're doing. We need to know the problem in the story and what lesson is being learned. Does anyone have any questions about the 5 elements of the story?
Nope.
Okay, well, very good job today. Remember to finish filling out the 5 elements on your story web and turn them in to me after class for full credit.